Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is May 3rd, 2024, and Joan Laporta has implemented a plan in order to protect the club membership. Also, Barcelona are fearful that Joshua Kimmich could end up renewing his contract with Bayern Munich. And finally, Barcelona could profit of Riqui Puig's rise in the MLS. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and as I've announced before, I am still out of the country on vacation. This is why I'm bringing you this live video to keep you up to date on all the Barcelona news. This is not a podcast, so I won't be reading your comments out loud or addressing the chat section. This is just to bring you all the Barca news in the live format since I am away from my Barca studio, so I cannot edit and upload videos. But don't worry, I will be back home tomorrow. I'll try to make a video. We'll see. I'm landing late at night. We'll see how late I get home. If I still have energy, I'll do a regular video tomorrow. And if not, I will definitely do several videos on Sundays just to keep you up to date. Anyways, having said all of that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of this helps this channel continue to grow. By the way, tomorrow is a big day for Barcelona. Barcelona will be playing Girona for that second place. Barcelona are second, Girona are third, but there's only 2 points between the two. So if Girona win tomorrow, that means that Barcelona will drop to third. If Barcelona win, obviously they can secure that second place. So very important match tomorrow. I'm very sad. I'm actually going to miss it. I'm going to be flying at the time the match happens. There's not going to be a post-match live analysis. And I guess I will have to watch the match on replay once I get home. Very sad about that, but big day. So make sure you watch tomorrow's match. Make sure you support our team because now, unfortunately, the only objective left is to end the league in second place. Now, more news because Joan Laporta is currently working on a plan to protect the club's membership. Now, you might wonder what exactly that means. Well, we all know that Barcelona is one of the few clubs in the world that's owned by its actual members. And Joan Laporta has always said that as long as he's president, the club will always be owned by its members and it's never going to become a privately owned corporation. And now Joan Laporta is living up to his words because he is now implementing a plan to make sure that the club stays that way, stays owned by its own members. Now, Joan Laporta right now has began one of his biggest projects headed by Elena Font. Elena Font is the vice president of the institutional area of the club. And this project is to completely update all the club's bylaws. The club's bylaws are pretty out of date. So Joan Laporta with Elena Font, they want to completely redo all the bylaws of the club, rewrite all the bylaws, modernize the club, modernize its structure, and modernize all its bylaws. And part of this project to modernize all the bylaws, Joan Laporta wants to insert a new bylaw that says that Barcelona should always be owned by its club members. And then if any of the club members want to suggest a change in the format, whether to completely convert Barcelona to a corporation or maybe half, whatever it is, if anybody wants to introduce a new format, it has to be approved by 66% of all the club members who are present at that assembly. So they're very important. This is in order to protect the club, to make sure that if the club ever wants to transition away from being owned by its members, it's done by its members themselves. That means that Barcelona's members would have to present this idea of converting the ownership format. They would have to vote on it. They would have to approve it. And that's the only way it could be done versus, just the president saying, you know what, I'm just going to sell the club. Oh, well, you guys have nothing to say. That's not what Joan Laporta wants. Joan Laporta wants to protect the club. He wants to keep it owned by its members. And if the members themselves want to change it, they can go ahead and do so. They can go ahead and vote on it. But the important thing is here to keep the power in the club members' hands. So very, very important thing that Joan Laporta is doing, living up to his words that as long as he's president, the club will stay owned by its member. Now, more news because Barcelona are currently fearful that Joshua Kimmich could end up renewing with Bayern Munich. Now, we know that Joshua Kimmich has been looking to leave Bayern Munich. He is not happy. His contract is set to expire in the summer of 2025. Bayern Munich tried to renew the contract of Kimmich. Kimmich said no because it looks like he wants to leave. It looks like both parties were kind of set to part ways. But now it's reported that Bayern Munich are now looking to schedule meetings with Joshua Kimmich to sit down with him to see if he does want to renew with the German club. And even though Kimmich is looking to leave, they're saying that maybe he could be amenable to the idea of staying in the Bundesliga, especially if Bayern Munich end up bringing a new coach. You know, Bayern Munich are completely overhauling the entire club, the squad, management, etc. They brought in new people into the board of directors. They're going to look to bring a new coach. So depending on who the new coach will be, Joshua Kimmich could be amenable to staying. Now, another reason that Joshua Kimmich could be amenable to staying in Bayern Munich is that he is in favor of coming to Barcelona. However, since Barcelona do have a problem with their financial fair play, you know, the club are short 100 million euros that they're hoping Nike would pay in the form of a signing bonus once both parties renew the contract. But until that happens, Barcelona cannot sign anyone this summer. So Joshua Kimmich, you know, even though he is in favor of coming to Barcelona, looking at Barcelona's situation, he might think, you know, what if Barcelona never fix their financial fair play this summer and then I'm left without a club? Maybe I should renew. So there's a little bit of fear right now that Kimmich could look to renew with the Bundesliga club. There is, of course, no confirmation that this is going to happen. This is just something that could happen. And if it does, of course, this would close the door on the possibility of Barcelona bringing Joshua Kimmich this summer in order to reinforce the midfield. Now, speaking of midfielders, Barcelona could benefit from the rise of Riqui Puig. Now, we all know that Barcelona offloaded Riqui Puig to the MLS, to LA Galaxy, for around 7 million euros. And lately, Riqui Puig has been doing really, really well in the MLS. He has become easily one of the best midfielders in the MLS, showing that he has the level to be, you know, somewhere else that's not the MLS, that he's better than the MLS. Maybe not as good as being Barca level, but definitely better than being in MLS. This season, he has played 56 matches where he has scored 15 goals, provided 8 assists. And as a result, his market value has begun to rise again. Right now, it's sitting around 13, 14 million euros. And what you might say, why do we care that Riqui Puig is doing great in MLS and that his value is going up? Well, we care because when Barcelona offloaded him, they retained 50% of any future sales. Now, Riqui Puig has said in previous interviews that he wants to come back to Europe, and given now that he's doing good, that maybe he could be sold back to another European club. And if that happens, Barcelona would make half of that transfer fee. So let's say he is sold for 13 million euros, which is his current market value. Barcelona would look to make around 6.5 million euros. This, of course, in addition to the 7 million euros that Barcelona already made when they initially offloaded him. So good news for Barcelona, because it seems like the club are set to make money off several players they don't even own anymore. You know, players like Todibo, Mika Marmol, Abde, now Riqui Puig. These are 4 players that Barcelona offloaded but retained a percentage of future sales, and Barcelona could look to cash in if all those players end up making moves, which looks like it's going to happen. Now, let's end this video with news about Erik ten Hag, because he has given an interview where he talked about how in order to play like Ajax, like how Ajax used to play under him, you need a specific type of players. And one of those players is, you know, a player like Frankie de Jong. This is exactly what Erik ten Hag said. And the reason why I bring this up is because it looks like Ten Hag is still insisting on having Frankie at Manchester United. You know, we all know that the best version of Frankie was under Erik ten Hag, and the best version of Erik ten Hag was with Frankie on his squad. So it looks like Ten Hag still dreams of coaching Frankie once again. So do not rule out the possibility of Erik ten Hag and Manchester United trying to make another bid for Frankie in the summer. This, of course, is relevant because there is talks now that there are many people within the club who would like to offload Frankie de Jong, given that they consider he never really lived up to the expectations that they had of him. He has never been that Frankie de Jong from Ajax. He also has an incredibly high salary that the club cannot afford. So there's a lot of people in the club who would like to push Frankie de Jong out. Of course, Xavi would like to keep him. But now, given Erik ten Hag's most recent statements, don't rule out the chance of Manchester United making another bid for the player come this summer. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. We'll be uploading another video right after this one. There's a lot of news today. But thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. And as always, bis cabaço.